Hello everyone, welcome to our new 5 facts video. This time it's about legendary boxer Mike Tyson. A little hint before we start with the video: subscribe to our channel now so that we can continue to produce interesting videos and content for you. Now let's get started with the video. We hope you enjoy watching this recording. Did you ever think that Mike Tyson and Donald Trump were business partners in the 80s?
I always liked boxing. I've held a lot of fights. I held a lot of Mike Tyson fights, and he was a fierce guy. And I think even mentally, in a sense, a lot of people they looked like they were defeated. Big guys that were bigger than him in many cases. And
this sounds crazy, but it's true. The 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, in the 80 years before Mike Tyson was convicted of rape for 6 years, free on probation, promoted the scandalous boxer and advised him on money matters.
It's ridiculous. The woman was dancing at 8 o'clock and this guy's in jail for 6 years. I don't understand it. I think it's wrong. I think
but due process of law prevailed. So
I think
you
he had one of the worst defense lawyers I've ever seen. This was the worst defense. I mean, their defense essentially was that anybody that goes out with Mike Tyson.
Since Mike Tyson had separated from his old managers for private reasons and could not longer trust anyone, he had finally decided on Donald Trump. Whether this was really a good solution for Mike is debatable. Yes, it's crazy to know where Donald Trump had his fingers in it. Now we come to the second fact. Did you know that Tyson was a real gangster before he started boxing? This is not a joke. In an interview, he was once asked if he had ever shot at someone, and he even said several times. Most of all, Mike Tyson enjoyed it when he held the gun at the victims and brought them to their knees so that they begged him not to shoot. This side gave him a lot of pleasure. He could do whatever he wanted with them. For example, he sent the victims for him to steal stuff. When the victims refused to follow Tyson's orders, he fired past the victims by a hair's breadth. On this subject, he was asked in the interview if he had ever killed anyone with a pistol. His answer was that he didn't know it because it had happened so many times. Here you can see that the boxing is a sport in which almost only criminals get involved. So now it's time for the third fact. It's unbelievable. Mike Tyson was actually a good boy in his childhood. He eventually got along well with his 2 older siblings, his mother and stepfather. Mike spent a lot of time with his family, helping around the house and being friendly to everyone. One day, Mike's mother wanted to know if her little boy had poor eyesight, so she did a little eye test with him at home. Mike Tyson's mother was very smart and knew exactly how to find out. To do this, she placed items further away in the room and asked Mike to find or locate them. In fact, Mike had trouble finding them, and she decided to take him to the ophthalmologist. The ophthalmologist examined him and prescribed glasses for Mike. At that time, Mike Tyson was also enrolled in school. As fate would have it, his classmates had always teased Mike about his glasses. He always tried not to be influenced by it. But one day his collar burst and Mike beat one of them so brutally that almost everyone noticed. That was the turning point of his school career. Namely, in the schoolyard there were also young people who sold drugs, blackmailed weaker students and did not attach importance to school. These criminal guys became aware of Mike Tyson's power and included him to the group. This was the end of Mike's school career and his criminal career had begun. Now, let's get closer to the fourth fact. At his best time, Mike Tyson was a womanizer. Almost every woman in New York wanted to be with him. Of course, he was aware of this and took full advantage of it. Mike constantly had a new girlfriend, so his coach, Castiamato, later also his father, was very worried about Mike's behavior. After all, Castiamato wanted Mike Tyson to choose a woman and not show up somewhere with a new one every time. There were no changes from Mike, despite these long conversations. He reached his peak with the woman when Mike Tyson became heavyweight world boxing champion for the first time. Namely, after the fight, Mike Tyson amused himself exactly with 24 women all by himself. He revealed this to an old friend, Jose Torres, when he later came to pick him up from the hotel. Torres asked Mike Tyson where he had picked up all the women. He said they were all hookers and escorts he had bought with his money. So guys, I think that's enough regarding Mike and his woman stories. Let's focus on the fifth and the last fact about the scandalous boxer. At the age of 20 years and 144 days, Mike Tyson became the youngest world boxing champion in the heavyweight division. To this day, no one but him has achieved this in boxing. Through 10 years of hard work, Mike was perfectly prepared for the title by Castiamato and his team. When Castiamato saw Mike Tyson boxing for the first time at the age of 10, he realized that this boy would become the next world heavyweight champion if he worked hard and remained disciplined. That's exactly how it was. Castiamato took Mike under his wing and got everything he could out of him in the training. In particular, Cas trained him on avoidance movements, so that Mike could use his full punching power against larger opponents. He explained to Mike that the fight was 95% mental preparation and the rest was focused on physical training. In addition to physical training, Castiamato invested a lot of time in preparing Mike mentally for the fights. One of the most important pieces of information from Castiamato that Mike remembered was to fight fear. His coach said that fear would be like fire. If you could control it, it would warm someone's house. If not, it would burn someone. Mike Tyson trained very hard 5 to 6 times a week in the gym of Catskill, New York. His assistant coaches noticed the evolution of his body over the years. They had the impression that Mike's muscle was going to burst, especially his biceps and neck. Finally, on November 22nd, 1986, Mike Tyson was in top form and defeated Trevor Berbick to become the youngest heavyweight world champion in boxing history. So guys, that's it. We hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.